What's it used for? Chopping. Chopping plants, yes. I'm not an agricultural person. I'm not familiar with the outdoors, but it's one of those words you don't hear a lot these days, is it? Pruning hook. But it features in this morning's first reading, that reading from Isaiah about beating swords into ploughshares and spears into pruning hooks. It's quite a vivid reading. It's quite interesting if you stop and think about it. When Isaiah was preaching all of this, it was not long after the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of Judah, had been destroyed, and they'd all been taken into exile in Babylon. And so for 1,000 years or so, they had their own kingdom. Although they'd had their own divisions and their own wars and their own disagreements, they'd been quite a powerful kingdom. In King Solomon's time, they'd been a very powerful empire. And this had all been seen as being the fulfillment of the promise that God had made to the patriarchs, that they would one day be a great and mighty people. And then, of course, it all fell apart when the Babylonians came and conquered the kingdom and took them all away. And at the time of many of the prophets were writing, the people were in exile, wondering what was going to happen next. They were lamenting the fact that they no longer had this great kingdom, and they were looking forward to the coming of another kingdom. They were kept going by the hope that one day there would be a great Messiah who would come and deliver another kingdom. But the prophets very often are saying, and Isaiah in particular seems to be saying, that we shouldn't necessarily expect this to happen by military conquest. We shouldn't necessarily be looking for somebody who's a great general who's going to come and just wipe out the Babylonians or whatever. That we should be looking more into ourselves as to how we can build this new kingdom. But right through the later part of the Old Testament and right into the New Testament period, there is this expectation that there would be a new kingdom of one sort or another. Even when the exiles went back to Jerusalem, they never really managed to establish their independence in quite the same way. And Jerusalem was always under the occupation of one foreign power or another. But the people were kept going by this vision, a vision of a new Jerusalem, a vision of a heavenly city, a vision of a new kingdom. But the vision that comes across in the prophets is not of a mighty military power. It's more a vision of a kingdom where people actually care about one another, serve one another, help one another, and where in particular they promote peace. A kingdom where peace and justice will reign, where people will be fed, and where everybody will get on in harmony. This is the kingdom of God that they were looking forward to. And of course they were all expecting a Messiah to come and really kind of finish the job and sort of introduce this kingdom. But then you get Jesus today saying, well, maybe the kingdom isn't going to just happen externally, as if by some end-of-the-world event, some catastrophic apocalypse. It's not going to just happen in that way. Maybe we need to look in ourselves and look at ourselves. Maybe it will happen on an individual basis, one-to-one. The coming of the kingdom, the end of the world, is not really going to happen as if by magic. The kingdom will only happen if we help to create it, if we help to realise it. And so in a sense, we're all being judged all the time by how much we contribute towards this end. When Jesus talks about people being taken unexpectedly, one taken and one not, and he says that the Son of Man is in our midst all the time, I think you can understand this to mean that in one sense we're constantly being judged, if you like. We're constantly meeting Jesus, we're constantly encountering this new kingdom by the way we interact with other people. Jesus comes to us all the time, every time we meet another human being, every time we're challenged to do something good, every time we have an opportunity to contribute to a better world. We're meeting Jesus in that, and so in a sense we're bringing judgment on ourselves as to how we react to those opportunities. Even if we're not great sinners, even if we never really break any commandments or do anything particularly wrong, if we're not actually responding in a way that's going to help make a better world, if we're not responding to those opportunities that come our way, we may just be letting Jesus pass us by without realising it. And so he's calling us, he's challenging us all the time, not just once a year, not just at the end of our life, not just occasionally, but all the time, to bear in mind the vision of a kingdom based on peace and love, the kingdom of God, and to help make our own contribution to it by responding positively to those opportunities, by engaging with other people and helping other people. This is us engaging with Jesus, and this is us contributing towards the coming new kingdom. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.